Hey, what's going on, everyone? So coming to you guys with this live event. Haven't done one in a little bit. Things have been really, really crazy over here. Background, just work. But yeah, so what I want to talk to you guys about today is it is the mid of the third quarter. There is so much going on this third quarter for small businesses. I had already told you guys at the end of the second quarter that the third quarter is the quarter for small businesses, and it is definitely shaping up to be that way. From all over the country, I'm hearing different things coming in about what's going on. They're seeing positive net gains and programs that they've been putting out. But what I'm also starting to see, and I have my questions here, so if you see me look off screen, I'm just looking at these questions. So one of them is in regards to auditing processes regularly. So I had my team do a little bit of insight data looking into that, and 81% of small businesses, they don't audit their processes regularly. 81%. So what does that mean? If you literally have created something with inside of your business, and it's even if it's a basic process, even if it's something about how this is what I'm going to use to get my business known by others to potentially get new customers. That process, you need to audit that process. And the easiest way to audit that process is by having even something as basic as a survey in place, to be able to get that information out to others. And what I mean by others, I'm talking about the actual individuals within your programs. So as I'm talking about that, is I see someone just came on, 81% of small businesses don't audit their own process regularly. So when you don't audit your processes, you put yourself in a situation where you're letting literally the business run you, and you're not doing the things that you need to do for that business to actually be able to get to the next level, because you really don't know. And I feel that 81, the reason why the number is 81%, I honestly think people just don't know. Some people don't have corporate backgrounds. Some people, they may have had a passion to do something, but maybe not the business understanding to literally know how to run a business. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you will see that any of the information that I'm putting out, any of the information that I'm telling others about, I'm not trying to hold the information back. When you have, I think the number is 92% of businesses will not make it to their 10-year anniversary. So think about it. You got 92% of businesses that won't make it to their 10-year anniversary. You have 81% of businesses that don't audit their own processes. And you have 1 in 5 small businesses that don't have the necessary resources to reinforce their workflow. That means there's a lot of business out there for certain individuals. So that means I don't need to charge everyone every nickel and dollar to give them the information. I'm more interested in, like, let's see what we can do to stop that number, to decrease that number, so that the businesses that can actually get to the 10-year anniversary is higher. How about let's do that instead of focusing on trying to nickel and dime everyone to death or monetize everybody under the sun? And that brings me to the big issue. Marketing. Marketing is good. Marketing makes a lot of sense. But you have to have, so I'm opening up my phone again so I can pull that information back up. You have to have something in place other than marketing for your business to exist. So what that means is you got to have a process. So 81% of businesses had a process, but then they never audit that process. So they did the most important thing. They were like, okay, I'm going to have something in place that allows me to just kind of be able to systematically look at the steps associated with whatever that thing is. But then they never audit that. So I'm telling you right now, it's the third quarter. It's the middle of the third quarter. Businesses are doing really well. There are certain let me retract that statement. There are businesses that are doing very well, and then there are businesses that are absolutely struggling. The businesses that are struggling, I guarantee, are part of that 81%. I guarantee it. And how can I guarantee something like that? I'm in the process of creating a prove us wrong campaign. So what I mean by that is I ask you, prove me wrong. You're going to see, once you start looking at this information, you're going to see, like, it's true. It's true for a reason. A lot of questions that I'm also getting lately is in regards to how do you get your messaging out there. So one of the easiest ways to get your messaging out there is you got to start with your purpose. You got to start with your mission. You got to start with your vision. There are a lot of businesses that have identified they got a good, strong purpose. Their business wasn't built off of passion. It was actually built off of a purpose. And they're marching that mission out there. The problem is that the moment that they get outside of what that purpose is, they're immediately going to the selling side of things. And that's where they're struggling, because they're having issues being able to put themselves in a situation where they could bring more value. And the reason why that is because this whole thing of monetization. Everyone wants to look to monetize, but when you monetize and you continue to monetize, you're not really left with anything to actually work with. So what I'm telling you guys out there that are on this, and that are watch this after I'm done, is don't monetize your own purpose. Allow that purpose should run with you the rest of your life, because it's your purpose. And that's where, when you have a passion about something, it's good to have passion. It's phenomenal to have passion, but passion is not enough to run a business. So, and I'm asking you, prove me wrong, and then literally prove us wrong. The other question that I'm getting lately is, let me go pull this back up. Implementing best practices. So for implementing best practices, you have to be able to audit your processes to be able to implement best practices. One of the easiest tools of all times to use is something basic. It's called the Eisenhower box. It may sound like some fancy term. It's really not. It's pretty much what's important, what's not important, what do you delete, what do you delegate. It's a pretty simple process. And you can go online, you can Google it, and you can watch videos and kind of see how it's done. It's not something you need to pay someone for. And when you get that ironed out, man, it's really going to be able to implement. You want to be able to have even a basics of automation in place. So what that means is there's a service called Calendly. Calendly is actually a really, really good service. And I'm starting to see more and more small businesses using Calendly. And I have no affiliation with Calendly. I'm just giving you guys the information. What that means is that if you have a business where you're looking to schedule things, you want to automate that process. You want to be able to be able to have a service or some form of application that you're looking to work with somebody else on, and you want to make an easy way for them to be able to work with you in regards to scheduling time with you. So something as basic as Calendly is a really, really good best practice. And when I say best practice, I don't mean Calendly as a company. I just mean an automation scheduling tool. Sorry, I just came out of a long meeting and I got my drink right here so I can continue on. That's coffee. But you want to be able to automate that schedule. So what that means is if you can communicate to a ton of individuals out there, and then you just have this link set up, and people can just go and you have it linked to your calendar, Google, whatever you use for your calendar to plan out your days, and they can literally click on that. Boom, 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 go all the way down the list. They have integration tools where you can automatically set up a Zoom call or a Google Meetings call or GoToMeeting, any video streaming, video conferencing service that you want to use. It's phenomenal. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal. So that is a huge, huge, huge best practice that I would recommend people out there to have. The other question that I'm getting is data centralization. This is more for medium-sized businesses, but I will explain it to small businesses so that they can understand the importance, especially as they look to scale their business. Data centralization, it's really a fancy word of just cloud storage. You really, really want to have in place some form of cloud storage. It is so vitally important to be able to actually have that as a process. And again, I've already explained that 81% of small businesses don't audit their processes regularly. So let's put that into real terms. Let's say you're using Google Drive because it's free, and you decide to set up folders in Google Drive, and you're adding stuff to these folders. Now, let's say you're in the process of, looking to pick up extra business or whatever you're looking to do within your business, or you can even do it for your life in that matter. But you have these folders set up that you haven't actually audited what's in those folders. Now when the time is needed for you to really be able to do something that shows added value to someone else, or you're in a situation where you're out and about and you never even thought to make sure that your folder was syncing for offline use because you just happen to be in an area where, or you happen to be in a building where the signal's weak, and now you got the situation where you go on your phone and you're like la 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 la, and you don't have that document there, you just lost that shot. So when they're talking about 81% of businesses not auditing their process, even something basic as that's a process. It's something you do quarterly or monthly. Just make sure that you actually do it. So the other questions that I'm getting lately is, what is this one about? Programs, client retention programs. I'm not really into the whole client retention program thing, because pretty much your program is doing right by your customers and working with your customers and constantly finding ways to bring additional value to your customers, regardless if you're getting paid for it or not. It's 2020 and there's a lot of different businesses out there. Your customers have an opportunity to work with literally hundreds of people if they want to. So your client retention process should be doing the absolute best that you can for your customer, but then also knowing where you may not have the best tools for your customers. I mean, I do it all the time, and that's the reason why my company is called United Partnership. I'm not in to try and be like, oh yeah, I can figure everything else under the sun. It's like, hey, if you need help with something, I may not have expertise in that, but you better believe I'm gonna go find someone who does. That's what creates partnerships. That's what creates referral opportunities, because you're literally going back and forth with an individual. And I'll give you an example. I'm just starting this business alliance group, and there's an individual that I've been communicating with that's not associated with this group, and she is she's starting up a business, and she doesn't want to share information with anyone. And I'm like, that's where you're going to fail. And I was like, there's no way in the world your business is going to last even 5 years if you're not willing to bring value to others. That's a problem that I'm starting to see more and more and more on the internet, because people are seeing that there's a lot of stuff that they can do. So they're thinking like, ooh, I'm going to hold back information and I'm going to charge someone for this basic information in hopes to increase my net profit. It's not going to work. And I'm telling you. So again, prove me wrong. If you have some type of solution out there and you've been doing it consecutively for years, I'd love to see it. It doesn't exist. And what happens is those that bring the most value win. And it's a pretty simple, basic model, but a lot of businesses don't take that model. They take the model of, well, if you want to have a meeting with me, you're going to need to pay me X amount of dollars because, you know, I deserve X amount of dollars. It's not going to work. You may have some success with that, but literally you're monetizing your own business, and you're going to put yourself in a situation where your pool's going to run dry. I see it all the time. So I would advise those that are out there doing that to please stop. What you should do is look at doing things where it puts you out of the picture, and it's all about your industry. The next thing that I will talk over here is non-standard and standard processes. So there's a lot of questions around how can you automate processes. There is a tool. What's the main? I'll talk about Zapier. Zapier is a tool. It's a pretty phenomenal tool. And what it can do is it can take an application that you use, and it could integrate it with another application, creating an automation between those two applications. I can say a Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, like your calendar, and say your customer relationship management software. It can link those two together, creating automations. That is a very, very, very powerful automation tools. Most of the time, it's very, very cheap. I think it's free for certain situations. Don't quote me, but I think it's free. But that's the best tool that I will tell you about that. And now I'm going to go into the fourth quarter. So the third quarter is already starting to show a lot of growth for certain small businesses. We're seeing about a 4 to 8% increase in sales from a lot of businesses that actually were tracking their numbers. What's happening is the fourth quarter is probably going to be slightly different. That fourth quarter, there are going to be a lot of small businesses where they're not going to be able to really market themselves the same way. And this is where you got to be careful with your marketing strategies, because if you have a lot of funds, then you can compete with those marketing companies that are really, really good. And, you know, you may be able to do some hand-in-hand things where you can kind of compete with them on a fund level. But if you don't have those funds, you really need to focus on the third quarter. Why? Because once we hit that fourth quarter, we're going into an election year. So there's going to be a lot of dollars spent in regards to the election season. There's going to be a lot of marketers that are going to be doing things to strategically connect individuals to those marketing dollars. It's going to be really, really hard for small businesses, and they're already the insight data is showing about a 3% loss in the fourth quarter. So what that means is right now there's a 4 to 8% gain, and then there's a 3 to 4% loss in the fourth quarter. This is why this is the quarter for you guys to get out there and make your money. Do everything that you need to do to put yourself in a situation where you're doing right for your family, you're doing right for your employees, and if you don't have an employee, you're doing right for yourself. So get out there, get after it. I didn't want this to be a very, very long live stream because I'm busy. I got a lot of stuff going on. But one of the most important things I could tell you to kind of end this one is the third quarter. It's really shaping up to be a good quarter for small and medium-sized small businesses and enterprises. The numbers are about 4 to 8% in increased growth on the top line. Now, because obviously bottom line, it depends on your indirect costs and how you run your business, and hopefully you're paying attention to your indirect costs. I hope you are. The fourth quarter is going to bring a decrease for small businesses, and it looks like it's across the industry. Those that are in the automation and in the IT space, they're looking good. They're looking really, really good, because what's happening is the marketing companies and pretty much I'll say the marketing companies, they need to do certain things with technology in order to continue to push up certain cost of acquisition values for their customers. So they're going to be going to these IT companies. They're going to be trying different, even smaller companies out to give them an opportunity to shine. So if you're in the IT space, fourth quarter is looking really, really good. If you're in the service space, it looks like it's going to take a dip. If you're in the product space, it looks like it's going to take another dip. Products are you would think that there'd be an increase in product sales in the fourth quarter because we're going into the shopping season, but you're going to have some big competition out there. You got the Amazons, you got the Walmarts, you got these companies that they have literally unlimited budget of marketing. So your product needs to be tip top if you're going to compete with them. So your best bet is to try not to do it on the marketing, is to try to look at doing it from a value add, and then especially take advantage of the third quarter, make your money, and also not spend. So there's a lot of times with these insight data analysis that I see where you'll see a business make a lot of money, and then they know that the next quarter may not be as lucrative. They're spending when they should be saving, and then they go in this next quarter and end up a lot of times ending that quarter with a loss. So I'm ending this really quick. Thank those that were on here to give it a shot. The biggest thing, third quarter, you still have about a month and a half to really do some things within your business. Look at your processes, look at automation, audit your own processes. Because again, I already said 81% of small businesses aren't automating their processes. So think about it. If you are a business that is if you are a business that's auditing your processes, you have the ability just off that automation alone to increase your gross sales by 4%. That's just like an industry standard, just off of auditing your own processes. And then you're in a quarter where there's actually a lot of growth this quarter. So that could potentially, you could almost be at 10% growth this quarter if you're doing what you need to do. So that's what I got for you guys today. Those that listen, appreciate you. I'm gonna have my team chop this down so we can do some videos. So those that couldn't get on, just because whatever they have going on, they can get it in bite-sized chunks. Appreciate you all. Love you guys all. And I wish you guys all the best out there. See you later.